Well, why not, huh? What do you say we just bang this thing open as we roll through our summer guest series on Three Guys Before the Game? No small boy stuff here. We're going with the big dog. Erik Stevenson is our special guest on Three Guys Before the Game, episode number 455. You know, it's always good, firstly, to have all three of the guys here. Kercheval's rampant absenteeism seems to be quelled since this is his second show in a week.
Here. Let's not dwell on the past. I'm here.
I mean, he's here. But look who we have here. You talk about a rose between two thorns. Mountaineer Erik Stevenson is in. We're chatting with him, and we're glad that you are with us. Three Guys Before the Game is brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Happen to be the premier pontoon boat dealer in the state of West Virginia. You want a pontoon? You want one that's made 100% in America? Go to Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Visit them at LouWendellMarineSales.com. Three Guys brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. You know, Erik is a big-time entrepreneur. He needs to have his data safe and secure. He plays no games. He knows how important it is to have managed IT. And as he grows this business that he's into, he's going to Comax Business Systems. Check him out at ComaxWV.com. Three Guys brought to us by the Burdett Camping Center, the only warranty forever RV dealer in all of West Virginia. Visit them at BurdettCamping.com. I said that right. The warranty lasts forever. You buy it, and the warranty lasts forever. That's like really good. And right now, amazingly offering you a Forest River Rockwood Ultralight fifth wheel, $10,000 off. $10,000 off. Now, guys, now if you buy that warranty lasts forever on that and all the fifth wheel, all the travel trailers that they sell. $10,000 off. The warranty lasts forever.
Is that the one with the power awning, or is that different?
That's no. You're right on. That's a 20-foot power awning. Great place to relax and watch Erik Stevenson highlights. That's what you do. Put on a few of those games. Spend the day, spend the night. Got everything on that thing. Check it out at BurdettCamping.com. And by Go-Mart. Oh my goodness, go for good times. Go for Go-Mart right now. Egg extravagant prizes. Sign up. Go to the website. Gomart.com/3 guys. Gomart.com/3 guys. It tells you how to sign up. Right, they're giving away tons of stuff. Go-Mart, $500 gift card. We got those tickets to the Morgan Wallen concert, which is coming up, and we've got just a ton of stuff. 72-pound Reese cup. Probably have one of those in there.
Give or take.
And a Slim Jim offering now a Slim Jim as big as a telephone pole. Just got to take it in you just got to get a flatbed to get it out of there.
Roughly.
So we're in. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for our boy to be on the show with us.
We've talked about him a lot.
Talked about him. The most talked about guy this season.
Yes.
And maybe the most talked about guy that has not appeared on the show. Take care of that now.
Correct. His boy, Emmett Matthews, is in the clubhouse as the all-time most frequent guest on Three Guys. And that little kid he used to hang around with, McCabe, he was second, like by a hair. McCabe missed one episode. Stevenson, we've been talking about you a lot. Mm-hmm. A lot. Wanted to get you in season. I wanted to get you in season, but like, you know how the season goes.
It's hectic.
It's hectic. It's quick.
Like that.
May have had a situation or two that
a little bit afraid.
Made you radioactive a little bit, and so we had to back off on that. But it's good, man. It's good.
Back to normal now.
Yeah. Listen, a couple questions here to start things off, just to build a base, a foundation. You build a house, you got to build a foundation. Mm-hmm. Listen, we've been kicking this around. We have you down at 33 years old. Now, were we? Is that
are we off, or are we right around that? Or?
Now listen,
it feels like that.
Now listen, the 6 years that you played in Finland, when you were on Finland and then the Greek team, and then you came over and then you coached the U8s in Israel, before then you came back. Now, those had to be great memories.
Fantastic.
No, we were just, before we started rolling here, man, you had a career. 1,700 points, 1,709. You made 273 pointers, and you ended obviously here at West Virginia. And you are, I mean, what we'll remember you for is a bunch of things, but I think you will also be remembered as that new definition of a college basketball player. And by that, I mean non-traditional in the sense that we used to see guys go to one school and play for 4 years. Hey, great to have you. See you later. But you have now people might look at you and go, wait a second. He went to, he played 4 different schools. We're seeing that more and more and more. I think you kind of are in that mode. That's not what you thought was going to happen when you came out of high school.
Nah, not at all. My college, career did not follow the plan that I had in high school by any means. But I think I kind of, I don't know, a trend center maybe. If you don't like the situation you're in and, you got the option to leave. Sometimes it's not the best. Sometimes it is the best for you. Obviously, like I said the other day, I abused the transfer portal.
Well, that might be a bit harsh.
You utilized.
You utilized it. You didn't. Why did you think you abused it?
I was in there a lot. I was in there.
They just had a permanent spot for it. Oh, Stevenson's back in.
Yeah, I was in there a lot. I took a lot of phone calls, and it's busy when you're in that portal, especially if you have, like after my sophomore year, I had a good 16-ish games, and then kind of had some injuries flare up and production went down a little bit. But after that year, my phone was just off the hook when I was in the portal.
Okay, let me ask you this. Did transferring in college, was that a continuation of what happened in high school? How many high schools did you go to?
I went to one.
You went to one?
One.
Which is unusual nowadays, too, because most kids, if you don't go to 2, you're not cool.
Yeah, and if you don't make an edit or you don't announce that you're I'm like, people are announcing that they're transferring high schools. I'm like, what are you doing? You're going 10 miles down the road.
So how many AAU teams did you play for? Because AAU teams, you do different ones every week.
Yeah, I played for 2.
Well, that's good. There was no indication that you were going to be.
My college.
Well, no
career
indication. It's not a pattern of behavior. It was circumstance.
No
indication. What's he talking about there?
No, wait a second.
Just like it is. Always had a travel bag with him.
No, I disagree with you guys. A lot of times, if a kid pops around to a bunch of different high schools, that's kind of an indicator.
It's usually going to happen in college. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, he's from a different era. He's 48 years old, so they didn't do that back in the day. That's a relatively new development there. Yeah.
Plus, once you went Timberline probably had a good NIL deal for him at Timberline. They kept him there.
Man, I don't know about NIL, but it treated me well. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Let's ask it this way. What'd you learn from being in the portal all those times, or what would you do different if you were back as a freshman in college now?
So what I learned in the portal is you're not always going to get what you want. Like I said, Wichita was, I had a good sophomore year, got what I wanted. Went to Washington, wasn't a situation for me. And I was expecting to get somewhat of the same, from the first time I was in the portal, and I didn't get anywhere close. So it was kind of humbling. Not that I was going in the portal thinking, I'm going to.
In terms of interest, you mean? In terms of calls coming in?
Wait, time out. The trend. When you went to Washington, you didn't. When you left Wichita.
When I left Wichita, my phone was off the hook.
Off the hook.
Off the hook.
Everyone wanted you.
Everybody. Everybody besides, the Kentucky, Kansas.
Okay.
Those guys.
And then you did one season at Washington. You put your name back into the portal, and you got crickets.
And it was like it was crickets for what I wanted, if that makes sense. It wasn't the level I wanted to be at, and so I was waiting. I was patient, just staying in the gym, and I got the call. Butler was in there, and South Carolina called at the end, and they obviously they stole me away. But that portal it's a blessing, but it can also be very humbling. Like I said, and those guys that call me, text me that I know they're going to go in the portal and ask me for advice, and I tell them the same thing. Like I'll look at their numbers and whatnot. I'm like, hey, what I mean. I'm saying this in the nicest way possible.
Chill.
Just if you go in that portal, don't expect to hear from the schools you want to hear from. And so I was just blessed because I was able to keep leveling up.
Right.
In the portal. I went from the American to the Pac-12 to the SEC, and to the best league in the country. So it's not usually like that. A lot of guys that transfer, especially before they, people started really getting in the portal, you go from West Virginia, you're going to,
Down.
wherever.
Yeah.
And I was just blessed to be able to keep moving up.
When you were young, did you play multiple sports?
Baseball, football, basketball,
Okay.
in that order.
When did the other sports start to go off to the side and basketball became the focus?
I stopped playing baseball in my 8th grade year,
Okay, so you went up to 8th grade.
and football stopped after freshman year.
Okay, so you played freshman football.
Yeah. And,
Position?
baseball, I was hot corner, catcher, right field, pitcher. Basically everywhere you needed an arm.
Mm-hmm.
Football was quarterback.
Of course.
So
Not a surprise.
Baseball is my best sport by far.
Baseball.
By far.
Excuse me?
By far.
By far. You
Like-
scored 1,700 points in college. That means if you were by far a better baseball player,
wasn't- it
you
wasn't
could have been a pro.
Yeah, I'd be a pro now. I'd have been a pro 4 years ago.
Really?
I was throwing high 80s in 8th grade on the mound.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Why'd
I
you
don't-
walk from that?
it was too slow. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The money
Hey.
would have been fantastic, but it was just too
Yeah.
slow.
They call that the romance of the game of
Yeah.
baseball.
My mom
Ti-
still
the
hates me
timeless
for
game.
that.
She wanted you to be a baseball.
She loves sitting down the right field line or whatever in the sun and just watching me play.
See, also ahead of your time. Now games are fast.
And
Yeah.
now they got the pitch clock.
Right? Pitch clock 2.5 hours, in and out.
Yeah. So
You can still go
Big
over.
12 games are longer than that with the 97 fouls they call.
Well, don't start that.
I cannot comment on that.
Yes, you can.
I probably
Yeah, you can.
can't. I
You
actually
can now.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. But
Listen,
we'll-
we say often on this, there's no rules. Don't worry about it.
He could go over to Maisie's camp right now, couldn't
By
he?
the time
Couldn't
I
he
get
go-
a coaching job, those refs will be done. So I'll have a chance.
Yeah, so you have baseball eligibility left?
I mean,
Can't you go over there?
It's crazy you bring that up. My dad and I talk about that all the time. Like South Carolina's usually a good baseball program as well. And so it's, they were like, after the season, my dad was like, you might as well go out there and just throw, And I'm like, it's tempting, especially with, like, that was my 4th year.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do I go back to school? Do I do this? Do I do that? And I was like, I was really contemplating it. He doesn't know that, but he'll know now. But I was really thinking about it. I was like, they need an arm. You know what I mean?
Your dad's a big dude.
Yeah, he's smaller than he was.
I saw him at the graduation senior day thing there.
Mm-hmm.
So he played college basketball.
Played college, played pro.
Played overseas.
Yeah. Australia and Europe.
So did his mom.
Mom was an athlete, no question. I don't know if she ended up playing professional, but basketball, volleyball,
That's interesting. So did you get pushed, or was it just part of the world that Erik Stevenson grew up on, that sports were just all over the place?
I mean, I was sports from day one.
You just loved it.
that's just all I knew. I mean, I was always in the street or I was in the neighborhood playing, whatever.
Your
Football.
sister played college basketball. So did you all guys have,
Yeah, she used to
Games?
break my teeth in the street.
bust you up?
Her thing was, I'm gonna get you on the block and I'm gonna spin baseline. I'm gonna spin baseline and the arm I'm not shooting with, I'm just gonna clear you out. And then land
Hit you right in the face.
Yeah.
right in the face.
Good.
She'll love that I said that. But
Yeah.
no, she played at Shadron State and Black Hills State after going to Wenatchee Valley Community College.
There's a lot of Northwest references there. Might have been a few Indians out there, you think? I mean, that's heavy. right?
Yeah, she was was that Nebraska and South Dakota. I visited her out there in South Dakota. I never went back.
All due respect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
South
sure.
Dakota,
No
no disrespect.
When you first came out of, let me ask you this. So in high school, how good were you? Like, were you crazy good?
I was the only Division I guy in my area.
Okay.
I was good. Yeah, I competed on the circuit. There was guys on the circuit who were, 5-star this, whatever, and I was doing, just doing what I usually do.
Tony, here's something about him. See, he's modest. In 2018, he led his high school to the 4th place state tournament finish in Washington State's Class 3A tournament, but was named the MVP of the entire tournament.
Excuse me?
MVP of the entire tournament, correct, sir?
Yeah, that raised some feathers in the state. People didn't like that.
How about that? People didn't like it?
People did not like that.
You're not opposed to raising feathers, though.
Oh, I love it.
That's, yeah.
By the way, Tony, as you can tell, I did a little research.
Yeah.
And we have some other research because, Brad, Erik's a shooter, right?
Shooter.
So that shooting starts early. We have a picture of him. There he is.
Oh, man. You guys went way back.
Now,
Oh.
you see, this was at a YMCA, and his mom was coaching there.
His
And you
mom
see
might
all
be
these
all
other, Brad, these other kids are trying to defend.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
see that.
But what's he doing?
Oh, he's popping the
I'm
ball
getting
up.
it up.
He's shooting it up.
Yeah. Is that my mom right there on the right? It's got to be.
Yeah, maybe.
But he's saying, he's saying, give me the ball.
Well, they're not. that defense isn't out far enough on him. I don't know why they're sagging.
No, they're not.
Right, Eric? Huh?
They're not.
That's an auto pull from right there.
Yeah,
But he's pulling up. He's shooting.
So look at that. Little did he know the gold and blue would one day be his college
crazy.
team, right?
Yeah, it's
So
crazy.
you were probably like, from what I read, you started in the 4th grade at YMCA and your mom was a coach. Something like that? I'm sorry, 4 years old. 4 years old.
Yeah,
Fourth grade, I was
that's,
gonna say,
that's 4 or 5 years old,
that's
right?
That's not very old right there.
And your mom's coaching you up.
Yeah, and we're playing on the plastic, little plastic goals where you just, you pop it in there.
Sure.
Put some sand in there or whatever, and I'm dunking it and bringing the goal down and pee-wee.
Yeah. That was even before banging chest was even in.
That wasn't even a thing back then.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No one had thought of that yet.
Never.
Did you watch sports? I mean, as much as you played, were you a sports watcher as well?
Oh yeah.
Watch games all the time?
The only thing I watched was sports and Sports Center.
Yeah.
Like I would be up as a kid. I'd be
That's
up.
an American.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like it. Love it.
I would be up at 2 a.m. as a kid, just watching Sports Center all night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Still the same now? You still watch games other than when you're playing, or
Just
no?
that's all I do.
Yeah.
I don't watch TV. I watch YouTube when just games, highlights.
Did you watch the game last night?
Love it.
Yeah, that was a performance by UConn, especially defensively.
Yeah.
They can really play. And they got pros, man. They got at least 3 or 4 pros on that team.
That's what it takes.
Yeah, I'm talking like pros, like NBA pros, not overseas guys. They're going to be in the league. And if you got those guys and don't win, then you got a bad year.
Yeah. You played for some very, very high emotion coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take Mike Hopkins out of the mix. I don't think he's
He's the laid back.
he's chilled.
Yeah.
But you play for Greg Marshall,
Mm-hmm.
Frank Martin, and Robert Huggins.
Yeah,
So-
that doesn't say something.
What should we learn about you based upon those 3 choices?
I don't mind being coached. I don't mind being yelled at. When I mess up, I know I mess up, but I don't mind it when the guy getting paid millions lets me know because that's his job. So, and just toughness. Those 3 guys right there. If you're not going to be tough in their program, you're not going to get on the court. And I played a lot of minutes for those 3 guys. And it's just a blessing. You know what I mean? Because those are 3 good basketball brains, like really, really good basketball brains. And they're all well respected in their own way. So it was just a blessing to be able to learn the game from those guys.
What was your anticipated experience with Hugs, and what was the real experience with Hugs?
The anticipated experience was, I thought he was going to be crazier than he was, to be honest. But if I got him probably 5 years ago, my anticipations probably would have been met.
Yeah, you would have been. It would have paid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have cashed that?
Yeah, it would have cashed.
But like my experience with Hugs was great. I mean, I came in from day one and just try to insert myself in the program, and they let me, which is huge. Because a guy like me is, I can rub people the wrong way sometimes. A lot of the time, as you guys know, especially teammates. But like in the summer, it was my job to. In the summer, it was my job to insert my personality because that's what they needed, and that's what they told me when they recruited me.
Yeah. Well, for those looking and watching the program, when did you insert yourself as the player coach? I mean, you were the only guy ever that I've ever seen sit in the stool in game. And you're helping him coach there. You're explaining plays to him.
He's explaining to Hugs what the play
you wanna
call is.
run
Matter
there.
of fact, that was
Was Iowa State?
yeah, that was when we needed to get the ball in bounds, and he was he was drawing up his press break. I'm like, Hugs, we're going 5 out on a baseline. We're running football. You know what I mean? And the 2 guys in the slots are just going to run out routes, and the guys on the corners are just going to step in right behind them.
Bingo.
It's just like a pick route.
I freaking loved it, dude.
You know what I mean?
Like I freaking loved it.
It's
Like
just
I was
it's
doing
just a
like,
pick route.
thank you very much. Why should you sit there and try to stick it in there and get wedged into the corner? Run football
Like,
and
do,
go.
do stuff that the teams aren't going to expect.
Did you? Okay, so let me ask you this.
Real quick. Plus, he gave it 2 guys in the slot.
Yeah.
right in the slide? They're going to run out routes.
Had you
Slot,
got-
wide out.
Slot, get the guy in the slot.
Had you guys rep that at all in practice?
Never. We never did that.
You had not run that.
Not once, ever. And I said, Hugs, I got it. And he goes, okay.
See,
I
Coach
swear.
Stevens.
what do we always say on this show? You got to have somebody that says, "I got it.
Yeah.
Give
me
it
the
to
ball."
Let's go. Get out
I
of the
said,
way."
I got it. And I literally drew it up on the whiteboard. I got the whiteboard from him. And I said, the guy's passing the ball is going to be slightly off, not under the backboard, but right on it. And the guys in the slides are going to run out routes, and the guys on the wings, corners, are just going to step in, preferably your two best free throw shooters, get on the ball and they get a foul, win the game.
Did it twice.
And
I loved it, dude.
Yeah.
I was giddy.
I don't know how he won that game, though. I really don't.
Dude, that was the best win of the year, in my opinion.
Playing Emmett at the 5, they made that huge, I want to say huge comeback, but like how loud it gets in there.
Oh, that's a good place.
Man.
That's a good place.
That's top 5 environment for me.
Yeah. Oh,
Easily.
it definitely is.
It also didn't hurt. You were in the midst of a streak that was as good as there's ever been at this school.
It was
right. You were in a zone there for about 2.5 weeks.
It was one of those zones, man. I was, we got to that point, man, where we just had to win games, and people were looking at me. My family's looking at me. My basketball circle's looking at me. The team's looking at me. Hugs is looking at me. Hugs told me he was like, you owe me some games now. I said, I got you. Just wait. And I was just blessed enough to have that 5-6 game stretch where, I was playing pretty well.
You had that stretch, which is one of the all-time. You put the numbers together, and Brad was putting the numbers together while it was happening. Those were unprecedented numbers. But you also had that about a 5 or 6 game streak after Oklahoma State that took you into the crapper. And we talked about that a lot. So now that that's over and you look back on it, did what happened at Oklahoma State screw you up?
Screw me up as in?
Is like after that mentally you just
yeah.
Did you have to change the way you were playing there for a couple games?
No, I didn't have to change. I just had to look in the mirror, to be honest. I was talking about this maybe a month ago with somebody who I'm really close with in the basketball world, and I'm like, man, that was karma. That's all that was karma. You know what I mean? The Kansas State deal, I didn't even mean to foul him like that. I was going for the ball, and I hit him, whatever they called it, whatever, just because, my name's Stevenson. I played for Huggins. But the next game, obviously, whatever happened. And, the following games after that, I got this bad virus, like terrible virus.
you got sick.
Yeah, I was. I got pneumonia. I don't remember what it's called, but it was bad, and that was the Kansas, Texas, Baylor home stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The ones like we needed to steal at least 1 or 2 of those.
Yep.
And I just didn't have, the physical energy in me with pneumonia and all that. I'm trying to play, but it just didn't work. And I look back on it now, I was like, that's karma exactly for what I did at Oklahoma State. And obviously I had to pay my dues, and then God blessed me again with a couple 30 balls and 5-6 game stretch at the end.
Is your greatest strength also your greatest weakness?
Yeah. It's my greatest strength, but I don't think it's my weakness anymore. I think I've dialed it in.
Good.
I think I figured it out. I mean, I know I figured it out.
But still able to play with the edge that got you there in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, I think you could see that. Like I watch every game, and there was times early in the year where I was chirping and whatever, doing my thing, and I could see where it got to be a little questionable. And then towards the end of the year, I just didn't get into that stuff with other teams. There was only one team I got into it with at the end. That was Oklahoma State. That's because their assistant coach started chirping.
What did he say?
It was, I remember the play. It was like the first possession of the game where I had the ball, and I tried to make the pass to Keedy on the wing, and the dude, like I make the pass, the dude just completely just raked my arm down, the ball went out of bounds. It was off me, but they gave me the ball because they missed the call, right? And I'm walking to inbound the ball, and coach is looking at me. I just say, what's going on, coach? Whatever. Just like, what's up, coach? Like, I know Coach Boynton. Like, I've known Coach Boynton for a while. I dap Boynton up.
Yeah,
what's going on, coach?
He's a good dude.
And
What the assistant say?
the assistant coach was just chirping. He was like, man, you this, that, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
Cursing at you.
Yeah, I'm like, coach, it can get real ugly in here if you want it to. And that's when I think it was Jerry Pollard came over and, kind of.
For those that don't know, Jerry Pollard's first name basis, he's one of the officials. Go ahead.
Like I said, I'm 33, so I know all these refs.
I brought Jerry into the league.
Yeah, so Jerry comes over and, he's, hey, Stiz, chill, whatever. And I'm like, coach, ref, I didn't say anything, man. They started this, but you know how I get. And as I'm passing the ball into Keedy, I think it was, I don't look back, but I said, it's about to get ugly. As I'm running, next possession, hesitation, pull for 3, and then.
Did you get a look at him? Did you
Yeah,
look
I was backpedaling, looking right at the coach. I said, "I told you." I said, and it got ugly that day.
Yeah. I told you.
I can't help it.
I told you before the Oklahoma State game at shoot around, right? I said, dude, you're radioactive. They're looking for you. It did not help, did it, that Missoula and Marcus Smart were there that night? That would have helped if they weren't there.
That's what the media, man. I had nothing to do with Marcus Smart.
You weren't looking at him.
No.
Okay,
Matter
cool.
of fact, afterwards, I went over and Marcus Smart was sitting there. Shook hands, and then I talked to him like on the phone 3 days later. I was like, bro, that has nothing to do with you. It was this dude 10 rows behind him. Kind of in the same line. He was just chirping us, and that same thing. I said, it can get ugly in here if you wanted to, and it was on the verge to get ugly. But
Now Smart got run the next night.
yeah, and I was like, I don't feel like that.
So you talked with him.
Yeah, I was on the phone with him for 5-10 minutes. I was like, man, you know what it is, because he's similar to me.
Dude, tell me.
Yeah,
remember,
we know.
Go back on the YouTubes. Go back to the YouTubes and look at him against Texas Tech.
Yeah,
You've seen that one before?
I used to watch those games back in the day. I'm like, who's this Smart guy? I was like, God, he's out there just doing whatever. He was going for 25 and
he was dangerous.
I'm
He
like,
was so good.
He can play though.
Oh, he was so good.
He
man.
was good. He was really good.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, that's good.
It was a frustrating moment when people were, saying you're just twisting up the story and making me look like, whatever. But that's the media.
Well, that's good that you cleared the air on that. It
first
wasn't
we've heard
for
that.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's the first time you heard it, I mean,
Yeah, it is.
yeah,
It is.
I've told people that, and they're like, whatever. You're probably lying. I'm like, bro, that's exactly what happened.
I'll give you a ton of credit because you bounced back. You said, okay, that one's on me. You got through it, and then people didn't realize how sick you did get.
I was in the ER.
Yeah, Huggins did say that.
I was in the ER the day before we flew to Oklahoma with IVs and everything. And I was just couldn't eat. I couldn't lay down. Like, I always had to keep moving and whatnot. It was just, I don't know. I've never felt like that. I don't even know where that came from.
Fast forward to Auburn. When did you know that was going to be a day?
When I saw Auburn on the schedule.
Early.
Yeah.
Why?
The 2 times I played Auburn at Carolina, I had good games against them. And I knew how they guarded. They have small guards. So, I mean, you could just get to your spot and rise up.
So you knew that was coming.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say I knew I was going to have whatever I had, was it 31 or whatever, but
yeah.
I knew I could have a chance to have a good game.
You played in a lot of buildings in your career. Rank Allen Fieldhouse.
1.
Yeah, me too.
Easily.
What about the Coliseum?
2. I mean, home environment for me is 1.
Sure.
But overall environment, it's probably Allen Fieldhouse, Coliseum, Assembly Hall, probably Hilton.
Yeah,
Hilton's up there.
Hilton's good.
Auburn's a good one too. It's small. It's on top of you. Trying to think who else. Cincinnati was good.
Rupp?
I didn't get to play in Rupp.
Hmm.
They came to us, which I'm kind of disappointed about. But even Tennessee was they're not the craziest environment, but just like the lighting and the
yeah,
setting.
you're right.
It's
a
a
special light.
It's a big time arena. Like
Yeah.
you can tell they got money in there.
Yeah.
It's a big time spot.
Last time we were in there, they ran us off the floor. It hurt.
That's what Emmett said. We were talking about that actually during the season. That you guys went down there and played that Tennessee team was really good though.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, with Schofield and Grant Williams.
Yeah, exactly.
And they had LeCompte, the point guard.
Yes.
Something like that. They were really good.
Yeah, really good. So Big 12 gets a ton of credit for being the best league. And I know there's recency bias because you just went through it. But if you do look back, you were in the American, you're in the Pac-12, you're in the SEC. What was the difference in the Big 12?
I would say all 5 positions you got to account for the majority of the nights. The environments, like the road environments. But to be honest, probably the biggest thing is the coaching. You know what I mean? Because like you guys call me Coach Stevenson, which is
You
great.
are.
I love it.
Yeah, we're jumping
But
ahead.
out there on the court, I'm really thinking like a coach. As a while I'm playing, I'm like, these guys are going to do this when we do this. You know what I mean? So if I make this adjustment within the flow of the game, we're going to be able to steal 2 buckets, which might win us the game. And so, but there's just great coaches everywhere. You got Coach Self, you got Huggins, you got Scott Drew, you got Tang, You know what I mean? You got plenty of coaches, and then the list goes on. You know what I mean? It's just overall every aspect is just better that I've been a part of.
Yeah. What are we going to do now?
Stay in shape, stay in the gym. I go to Portsmouth on the 12th. I'm there for 3 days, and then from there I go to Orlando to start training for 2 months. Hopefully for the draft or get a two-way.
Mm-hmm.
That's the plan.
Okay. So regardless, you want to play professional basketball, and whatever happens, you'll go anywhere, any place. We just had Chase Harler on last week. He's in Hungary.
Yeah.
You'll go anywhere.
I'll go. Overseas, I will go if it's the right spot, if it's the right situation. If I'm not in some shack in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? I've heard I know guys who've gone over there.
Well, in your previous professional stops, I mean, did you have a favorite place? What's Ruoff? I mean, your boy is Alex Ruoff.
Yeah, I mean,
He's kind of adopted you as the young brother.
yeah.
So what does he tell you about? Because he had a long, prosperous career. What does he tell you that you need to be doing now?
The biggest thing is just staying in shape. Really, the skill. They say my skill is there, my shot making's there. Competitiveness has always been there. The biggest thing is you just got to stay in shape and be ready for that call. Because I hate to say it, but there's guys right now that are sitting down, not working. And when you get to Portsmouth and you're not in shape, they're going to notice. You get in those workouts and those teams, they're going to notice. So it's really it's up to you how much money you want to make, to be honest.
Ruoff ever talked to you about the castles he visited? He's a big castle tour guy when he was in Germany. Never brought it up.
Never did.
Huh.
But actually, the first day I talked to Ruoff was in the training room last summer. He was in there icing his ankle. I was like, did we get a new player? I'm like, did we get a, and he's sitting there on the table, and I'm walking to the cold tub, and I don't even know who he is. I'm like, I'm kind of irritated. I'm like, I'm supposed to be the only white guy in here. I'm telling you right now, you can even ask Evan. I'm like, I'm the only white guy in here. I take pride in that. And so I'm like, I'm walking to the cold tub. I'm kind of looking at him, and he's like, what's up? And I'm like, oh, how's it going? And we get to talking, and ever since then we kind of hit it off.
Yeah. See, I thought all season he had kind of ID'd you as you're like my little mini me.
Literally.
Yeah.
A lot of similarities there.
A lot of similarities, and I can help you. Yeah. And I think that's gold for you for what you want to do.
No, it's definitely helped for sure. And the biggest thing is he just loves being in the gym as much as I do. Mm-hmm. And so it's a blessing to have a guy that will be in the gym two or three times with me a day, and no questions to ask, no anything,
right?
And so, that's what I need. That's what I love. Because it's I'm motivated, but it's not as easy to get in there and work out with just you and two managers. You got to have somebody who knows what they're doing. It's get a flow.
Exactly, pro drills.
Yeah, so it's an hour of, your heart rate's up, you're sweating, you're making shots, you're working on your game, and you're developing your game. You know what I mean? That's huge.
You love the game, clearly. You've said that. At some point, though, it's a long season. At some point, what on a Tuesday or a Thursday, and it just feels like a grind, what are those days like, and how do you get through those days?
Yeah, so I didn't feel like that this year because I think Huggins really took a good look, and he took care of our bodies because, we were an older team, for the most part. But at Wichita, there was days where I was like, bro, I don't even want to be in here. You know what I mean?
Sure. Just grinded you.
We're losing by 5 on the road to, Houston, or, not Houston. They beat us bad, but Cincinnati, whatever. And we come back and it's 3.5, the next day. And I'm just like, Jesus, is this college? I don't know how long I can do this.
So Huggins realized that when you needed to push and when it was just back off.
Yeah. And so did Frank. He never really ran us into the ground. The only place I was really ran into the floor was Wichita, and my body, it took a beating because of that, and I'm still a little upset about that, but it is what it is.
Will you coach someday?
100%.
Mm-hmm. At what level? Where's the goal?
This level or higher.
Really? You want to coach big boy basketball?
like I said, the situation has to present itself because
Right.
at that level, you're not coaching your guys, you're coaching your boss's guys. You know what I mean? So obviously, like me, you're my boss, I'm the coach. Obviously we come together and talk about who we want, but at the end of the day, it's you making the decision. And I'm going to have to coach those guys who I may or may not like and win games, which is not easy. But, in college, I go out there and get whoever I want, So I would love to coach college. College is probably the ideal position for me to coach over the NBA, just because I want to have more control over my team than an NBA team.
Jose Perez wants to coach.
I don't know about Jose.
I talked to him.
Yeah,
Said he wants to coach.
I don't know if he can coach
Why do you say that?
because he doesn't like defense. He's got a good brain though. He's got a really good IQ for sure. You'll
Right,
see it.
he's got that same mentality. That was kind of caught me. He's got that same.
Yeah, you'll see it out there. Like when him and I were on the same practice team occasionally, it was it got ugly.
So you could score.
Yeah, it got ugly for the other team because I could score, he could score. We both think the same, and we're not selfish. And I don't care how many shots I hit in a row. If the double comes to me, I'm making the one more. He's the same way. So just the little things.
What can he average next year?
Depends on who they bring in. If they bring in a scorer, if they bring in whatever. But he could be 16, 15 to 18.
He's a scorer. He's not a shooter. He's a scorer.
He's a
Fair
scorer.
statement.
Yeah, he's a scorer. I wouldn't say he's a shooter. He can make shots, but like he could score. You know what I mean? Like, guys take me for 6'4" white dude playing high level. He's a 3-point shooter. Obviously I think I showed more than that this year. But he's more of a scorer that can make shots from outside.
So you talked about earlier about being on the court and thinking where people should be and thinking if the defense does this, we need to do this. So your IQ is very high, basketball IQ. So how many times in a game you come down for an offensive set and somebody's just in the wrong spot or goes to the wrong place? Does that happen a lot?
Early I was like,
Early in the season?
yeah, if I'm bringing the ball up this way, you should be over there.
Okay.
And if I'm bringing the ball up on the right side, and I got a shooter running on the opposite sideline, and I got a big running in the slot, that big needs to sprint to the rim because the defender guarding the guy on the wing, my shooter is going to have to help. So I'm just going to skip it over. He's going to have a wide open shot.
You with him?
Well,
there?
I was trying to keep up, but the point is that you know where people should be.
Yeah. So like
But-
if I'm dribbling down that right side,
Yeah.
and James is on the left side, and Seth is on the other sideline.
Yeah.
If James sprints to the rim, the defender guarding Seth is going to have to suck in.
Okay.
So it's going to be a dunk.
Okay.
And I just swing it to Seth, and Seth knocks it in.
All right.
So
But that only works if everybody goes.
and we figured it out at the end.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there a point? Was
James
there a point in
finally
this?
started to run to the rim.
Was there a point in the season, a game, or a period where it said, "Oh, okay, now everybody gets
Yeah.
it"? Because something must have happened after the 0-5.
Yeah, I would say that game might have been maybe Auburn.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
even remember.
you guys passed it really well against
I
Auburn.
don't even remember when we played that game.
That was on January 28th.
It might have been TCU the first, when we beat them.
31 January. TCU was January 31.
Yeah, that might have been it. Obviously, we lost some games after that, but I think we found shades of that. And then we, obviously Oklahoma and Auburn. Those games were really good games for us. Good
When you were 0-5, and we talked about this a lot, Brad and Tony, where said, "No, they're close. You're close." Did you feel like then you were close?
Yeah, I mean, we were
Because you shouldn't have been 0-5. You had some bad breaks
should have
in there
been
that led to 0-5.
at the worst. We were.
You
obviously
should have
we're
been 2 and 3
2
at
and
worst.
3 at
Yes,
the worst,
agreed.
right? And
Yes.
so we should have beat Kansas State. Should have beat Oklahoma State.
Yes.
And the three at home after that, obviously had that virus, and those are really good teams. So I mean, we want to beat them, but we understand if they win the game, because they're Texas, really good.
Huh.
Baylor really good.
They're really good.
Who else was it? Kansas, obviously Kansas. So we should have beat Baylor and Texas at home though.
Yes.
We shouldn't have beat
Right
Kansas.
there.
We didn't play well enough to win that game, but we could have easily been 4-1 in that start.
Mm-hmm.
Which, 4-1 in that start, probably end the year 11-7, maybe 12-6, and then you're what, 3 seed, 4 seed?
Exactly right.
which I'm still a little bitter about. But because if I had a year, like if this was my 4th year and I had a 5th year,
Right.
we would for sure be a 3 seed next year at the worst. But
We got here a year late.
you're late. It is what it is.
What was so obviously it didn't, things didn't end well NCAA tournament wise, not the way you wanted, but before the game itself, and we'll talk about that. Did you get the feel that you wanted to get as far as being in the
I was
tournament?
like, man, I'm about to go crazy out here. Like I'm about to, we're gonna make a run. I wanted to have one of those Jimmer runs. You know what I mean? Those old Jimmer BYU runs, but
For debt.
Jimmer Fredette.
yeah, we just, I just played poorly, especially offensively.
Well, they guarded the hell out of you.
Yeah, I didn't like what we were in offensively. It wasn't comfortable for me being in what we were in, going against what they were trying to do defensively.
What would you have done?
I would have just run our man stuff. They were, when they were going man, we were picking them apart. It was 18 to something,
Right.
5, 6, something like that. And then they went to that matchup, and then we,
So you would have run your man against the matchup.
yeah, just they went to a 1 to 2 pass matchup. You know what I mean? So they're in 2-3, and then they make a pass or two, and you go man. I'm like, just pass, run man set. We would have beat them by 20. I'm not gonna say that, but I'll say it. They're not very good. They were not a very good team.
That center killed you, Reese.
They're just.
He had a day.
Like I said, I just said it.
I'm out there playing. Yeah, he had a good game. I'm out there playing, running up and down. I'm like, God, these guys are not very good. How are they in the tournament? You know what I mean? And how are we in a game with them? But you got to credit Coach Willard, and I think it's Willard, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Kevin
You're right.
Willard.
Yeah, you're right.
He had a great game plan, especially defensively. Offensively they just get to a spot and then they like the ISO. Scott obviously killed us in that second half.
Yeah, he's a horse.
Might have been first half, but it is what it is.
You had your opportunity. I was standing out on the floor during the practice, remember, and I was talking with Jim Nance, and we were going over the players, and my man's out here, and he's taking shots. I said, here you go, buddy. And I said, game's on the line. Next to Jim, right? I said, here we go, Jim. Game's on the line. Stevenson. I think he jumped in a little bit.
He jumped in.
He gave you play-by-play.
And what did he say?
And I shot it. I was like, oh, it's good. And it was just short. And I was like, oh, I got to do it again. I knocked the second one down.
Did you just name drop Jim Nance?
Yeah, we were talking.
Speaking
Friend of the program.
His voice is like when you hear his voice behind the games, you're gonna
It's the
miss.
voice.
You're gonna miss that.
They're going to miss that.
You're gonna miss that.
That's the only voice you've heard on the Final Four.
You're gonna miss that, man. Oh, he had some great calls.
Yes, he did.
He was fun to listen to.
You got one for free. No one heard
free,
it, but I mean,
yeah.
on the court, he gave
I'll
it to
remember it, though.
Here's Stevenson.
I
Yeah.
remember
So
it.
you walk away from WVU saying what about the experience?
I loved it. I can't appreciate it enough. I was put in a position that I wanted to be put in for a while, where I could take a bad shot, a questionable shot, and still be in the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is a
Yeah.
rarity because he normally.
He doesn't usually let that happen.
You're telling me?
Yeah, like
I mean-
I've watched plenty of games where I'm like, he might come out, and then
Might.
he's out.
Hey, dude, there were guys that didn't even go down the other end of the floor. They just started walking over the
Yeah, I'm
bench.
like, and I think I earned that though. I earned that freedom with him because I'm never afraid to take the shot, the shot that you need to take and make, and so Hugs really allowed me to be myself. Obviously he reined it back in a step, which is, perfect. And he put me in positions to put the ball in the basket, and then I did, and if I didn't, it was on me.
What was it when he got on you? What was his go-to to get on you?
Oh, he would say some stuff, you know what I mean? But he would get on me.
What was it about? What would he get on you? Shot selection?
Nah,
Never.
never.
Okay, what
he
was
would get
what
on
would he
me
get on you
about,
for?
about other people's mistakes. 'Cause, they could, they're not
That's
going
what you do
to
with the
take it.
assistant. You yell at the
You know?
assistant
Yeah,
to take care of it. Yeah.
It's just I've always been like that though. You know what I mean? I'm just whatever.
He does use the transitive property a ton. So transitive property is if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C.
Mhm.
So what he does is he's mad at B, but he'll tell C that
Exactly.
he's mad at B.
That's
Oh,
exactly
really?
what he did.
That's exactly what he does, right? So like like in coaches, he'll say like in practice, you've seen this one, like, I don't know if you used it, but so this assistant recruited this guy. So he's mad. Let's just say he's mad at Bob Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll go to the assistant
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Bob Smith being able to hear and said, "You told me he could shoot it.
Yeah.
He hasn't made a shot since he got here." So he's yelling at him,
Yeah.
but he's yelling at the assistant. And in the game, so he was telling you, he was yelling about, let's just say Okonkwo, because everyone's going to pick on Okonkwo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why doesn't James get a rebound? He's yelling at you.
And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I have no idea, but I'll go relay the message. And man, it was.
I'll look into it, Hugs. I'll be right back.
You know, let me go do my research. And but like there was plenty of times where you know I would make a pass that should have been caught, should have been laid in or whatever, and they don't, whatever. And he'll get on me, and I'm like, Hugs, I know exactly what I'm a coach too, Hugs. Like I know what we're doing here, but so it didn't bother me. There were some times where I'd be like, Hugs, that wasn't my fault, right? Like after things calmed down, and he'd be like, "Yeah, no, I just can't say it to everybody." And I'm like, "You're right."
Yeah.
So you understood your role. You understood that.
Yeah,
that
I was the victim for a lot of guys, but I wasn't really the victim.
No,
I understand.
Right. No, and here's the deal, dude. The fact that you were able to understand that
that's huge.
is what allowed you to thrive, because there are some people that never get that part of it, and they go,
Would have internalized that, and then you
exactly.
Would have,
Then
Well, that's because he's older and more mature and been around.
Yeah,
Understands those
I'm 8
things.
years older than the average college.
Hey, this for
Well,
those.
no,
that
did you ever fire back?
Not in like the way I want to fire back. I fired back in like a joking way, like plenty of times though.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He's like.
but he's good about that. He allows you to come back.
Yeah, he's like, God, you haven't made a shot in forever. I was like, Hugs, did you see last game? Or something like that. And he'll
Yeah.
just start laughing with his little smirk and walk to the. He loves leaning up against the goal.
big, yeah, he loves the list. Yeah, he's a big pad backer.
And so guess where I used to stand? Right there.
Yeah,
And-
that was your spot.
Yeah, that was my spot. And I'd ask him, I was like, hey, do you want my spot? And he's like, let me get my spot. And I was like, we had plenty of moments, man, where it was fun and smiling, laughing. Because, you got to have that in practice as well.
Sure.
There's time to be locked in, but you got to have your moments.
He'll always be your guy. I mean, you know that like 8 years from now, you can call him up and say, "Hugs,"
Mm-hmm.
and be like, "What we got?"
He was like
Hey.
he made.
But also, you can always come back here, right?
Oh, yeah, I'll be
you
back.
can always be back here working out, living
Yeah.
here if you need to in between seasons, right?
But the kind of stuff that you did or said, did Hugs ever talk about when he played?
Yeah, all the
I
time.
mean, he got in scrapes.
No, he used to say his favorite word to call us was coward. I mean, you guys are cowards, and I'm just like, Hugs, that's not an insult in today's world.
Old school. He went old school.
Old school, right? And he just, this is why my nose is crooked, and I mean, I used to get in fights, and every day I used to go out, and the guy who was playing in front of me, I used to just make his life miserable. I'm like, yeah, he probably did.
Yeah.
And he was like, I could do it to you. I was like, Hugs, I don't know if you could do that to me, Hugs.
Yeah, he does like coward.
Yeah, that's his word right there.
Yeah.
Oh, coward.
Yeah.
That's his word.
Yeah, he's got a few other things.
He's got some things
Would
I'm
be
not gonna
hard
say.
sentences to diagram.
Yeah.
When you try to find the direct object
Yeah.
and the adverb, it's like,
He's
okay, I've never seen those words put together before.
the best way to describe him is he's a character.
Yeah, he is, and he knows he's a character, so he just kind of plays the thing. This coming Friday, if you're listening before April the 7th, if you're listening after April the 7th, I got two things here for you. First, this coming Friday afternoon, Erik is going to be at Kegler's for a meet and greet picture signing opportunity. So if you're listening before this coming Friday, is it 5 p.m.?
5 to 7. Yep.
5 p.m. to
Eastern.
7 Eastern.
Eastern.
You like Eastern? You like Eastern better than West, the Pacific, or what?
I don't. Yeah, I'm kind of acclimated to the East now.
Thank you.
You're a man of many time zones, though. You've been through them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Hit a bunch. And then when he goes and plays overseas, he goes over. If he goes to the Far East, he could be 13 hours.
You'd be a good Big 12 consultant, too, in the time zones.
He'll help. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, so if you'd like to go out, pictures, autograph, meet and greet at Kegler's, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern, Friday, April the 7th. Just tell them three guys sent you.
Happy hour special too. 75-cent wings.
I did see that.
And 50% off drinks.
Oh.
Alcohol drinks.
Dude, this will blow you out. When I was in college, you know how much wings were on Fridays? 10 cents.
I'd be in there getting fat.
Yeah. Well, think about it. For $5, you get 50 wings.
Yeah, I'd be in there.
I was.
I'd be in there trying stuff. And all different type of flavors.
Yeah, you get the garlic, the gold, the whole thing there. So also, if it's after April the 7th and you'd like to get a little Erik Stevenson merchandise, he has a website as well. What's that URL?
ErikStevensonMerch.com.
That's pretty good. I mean, he
good.
got to
Well
the point,
done.
didn't he?
Get to the point.
He didn't try to get cute or anything like, buy
ErikStevensonMerch.com.
my apparel. No, he's a Erik Stevenson merch.
You got those T-shirts there with the caricature face on it?
Yeah, so I got those white shirts with the blueprint of me on there. And I'm going to put – I still have some of those blue shirts laying around. The first shirts I kind of posted. I still got some of those laying around. I'll put those on there soon. And then I don't have any more practice gear on there. They all sold. And then there's some game shoes on there.
Ooh.
I sold a pair of shoes already for
What
that.
size you were?
What size?
Some of them were 14, some of them were 15. There's some
Dang.
practice shoes on there, like that pair on the yellow.
Oh,
On the
look.
right.
Okay.
Those are 13 and a half. Never even put on my foot, to be honest.
Oh, still in box.
Yeah, so.
That's neat. So you also, as I said, the transfer portal happened when you were within your career, and a lot of guys didn't have that opportunity. But also NIL.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your takeaway of the world of NIL.
Oh, man, right now it's the Wild West. Well, you can make as much money as you want, pretty much doing whatever you want besides, alcohol and drug stuff. So those guys making tons of money. And there's women making tons of money with it too.
Sure.
It's wild.
There's a lot of BS as far as how much guys are making.
Yeah.
What is the most amount of money that you know of anyone, not necessarily here, but anyone, any of your guys that you're talking to, you think is a legitimate sum of money that they're making?
Well, there's a guy that used to play here. He's
Okay.
making a lot of money.
Oh, Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
Oscar's making a lot of money.
You think it's a legit 2.5 mil?
Kentucky, I'd say probably, yeah. You know what I mean?
What about other dudes that you've played with?
There's a guy at Texas Tech that the number I heard was 750, which was the figure was like 80 a month or something like that.
God dang.
So,
That's real money.
and my thing, I'm looking at his numbers. I don't know how, but
In
Texas, you got money in Texas.
in this NIL space, do you think West Virginia can be competitive?
It's crazy you bring this up. I was talking with my parents back home about this. I don't know if West Virginia will ever be able to compete with, the Texas schools, the Florida schools. Because those states just have a lot of money. You know what I mean? Miami has a ton of money. Texas Tech, TCU, Baylor. They got the state of Texas just has money.
Right.
And so, I don't know if we'll ever be able to get on that level. But I think if they put some effort and time into it, you could develop the NIL program here to a point where you can get good enough guys who are talented guys coming in to where you can develop
Right.
and be
Right.
high level competitive again.
Yeah.
And if there's ever a sport to do it, it's basketball.
It's
As we
basketball.
just saw. San
Yeah.
Diego State's not doing what Texas is. FAU's not even in the ballpark
Right.
Yeah.
of those, right? So it can be done here. Have enough money to get some guys, take care of them, but get the right guys and you can win here.
Yeah.
Agree?
Yeah, 100%. And you bring up FAU. I was talking with my people back home, and I said I wouldn't be surprised if FAU's in the ACC or something like that here pretty soon. Just because they obviously went to the Final Four this year. They got a really good coach. If he stays, the recruitment's just going to go up. There's money in Florida, like I said. They're going to get money for going to the Final Four. So you can get those guys and slowly work your way up. Go from what league is that? CUSA?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
CUSA, go to the American. Or
Right.
whatever.
I hear you. I hear you.
Work your way
over
up.
time.
Over time, just you could see FAU and those. You could see San Diego State being in the Pac-12, if the Pac-12 is still a thing. You could see those schools. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's definitely potential there. I think.
I mean, teams grow. Yeah,
Mhm.
teams grow. Wild time, man.
Yeah, very similar to Wichita. Missouri Valley to the American.
Mm-hmm.
Then it, kind of.
How many degrees you have?
2.
That's awesome.
Well, I have 1. I'm gonna get 2.
What was your first one in?
Basically sports management.
From South Carolina.
South Carolina.
And where's your second one? Master is going to be what?
It's gonna be from here, I think. I'm in a 2-year program. Obviously, only here for a year, so I get half of it out the way.
You're going to go, don't stop doing it.
Yeah, I mean, and then
Don't stop doing it and say,
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and do it later. Get it done.
yeah, I gotta. It's in communications.
Just get that one done because that'll help you when you start to coach, whenever that is. You can say, yeah, I got my master, the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm not a school guy, but I'll get it done.
You don't need to be a school guy anymore.
I really don't.
I know. But I'm just saying, get that part of it done.
I will.
When you're a Grease senator, Hoppy, you've got honorary degrees from a university, college here in the state. I mean, just get it done now and just say, I'm done with it.
So I have to think about it again.
Yes. Because trust me, dude, you're not going to want to start to, like, look at Ruoff. Ruoff's like 61 years old, and he's now he's in grad school. Like, that's not, I see him on the plane. He's doing his homework. It's not what he wants to be doing. Just knock it out.
Yeah, get it out the way.
We good with that?
Mhm.
Three guys before the game brought to us by Comax Business Systems. They can provide to you safety and security for your business data and also digital phone systems competitively priced. Call them for a free price quote. Whether you need to purchase, lease, or rent from 1 line to 1,000 lines, ComaxWV.com. That's ComaxWV.com. I'm glad you came here, man. I'm really happy you came here.
I'm really glad. I said glappy.
Glappy?
Glad and happy I came
Hoppy,
here as well.
happy, glappy.
It was good to. It was good to be here because obviously I played in the best league. I was playing for a Hall of Famer, and I had family right down the road. So
Maryland, right?
Cumberland, yeah. I had, I don't know, 10 plus probably every game.
Oh, that's really
So, I
neat.
mean, it's my dad's side of the family. You know, he's from Cumberland. So, you know, when he came back, it was just like, it was a whole reunion, you know.
How did he get out to the Northwest?
So he was a bad kid.
Excuse me?
Yeah. You see where I get it from probably. He, you know, he was an athlete, but, he just, he's just doing dumb
Ding-donged
stuff.
around.
Yeah, just doing dumb stuff. And his sister, my aunt, actually got a job, or her husband got a job out west. And the way he describes it is his mom just said, "You're going with her."
Uh-huh.
And so he went out there and started working, playing, just playing pickup, whatever. And he was playing pickup at the D2 spot 5 minutes from my house. And he's 6', at that time he was like almost 6'11", 260. Like, and he's there. And the coach walks in and sees him playing, and, ever since then.
That was it.
Yeah. He was like, he says the coach came in and offered him a spot. He was like, on what?
On being 6'11". Can't teach 6'11".
He's like, what offered me a spot where? He's like, here, on the team. And
That's how he played.
that's how he got, played and, got a free education out of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You, in a perfect world, you've lived in a lot of places. What weather do you like best?
Sun.
Sunny. So you don't get that Northwest. That's not Washington State, is it?
No, it's brutal in this, Northwest for, I'd say from like October, late September to March.
Right.
But after that, it's perfect.
So were you most comfortable weather-wise in South Carolina?
Yeah.
That was
South
it.
Carolina it was perfect. It was rained every now and then, but no snow. We're in January.
Yeah.
Like 75.
Yeah, I know. That's the best. I think that's the best travel league.
Yeah, and I'm in shorts walking to the gym. I'm like, geez, this is a luxury.
Yeah.
I'm not bundled up in the puffy and all the type of stuff.
You cook it all?
Can't cook.
You eat, though.
I could eat.
Top 3 meals, what do you go eat?
In town?
No. Like, you get 3 things to eat. What are you eating?
Pizza,
Oh,
a good steak.
right.
I love a good steak. And fish for sure. Like catfish.
Fried?
Fried catfish with some fries with hot sauce. Whew.
So, you're a blue-collar eater.
Blue collar, yeah. Simple.
Favorite pizza in Morgantown?
Put me on the spot. There's, Casa, was it Dia Meat?
Yeah, Casa de Micha.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Pies and
Pints?
Pints is really good.
Okay.
Probably the top 2.
Did you get tired of barbecue on the Big 12 road circuit? A lot of that post-game?
Yeah.
A lot of post-game barbecue.
Yeah, it was a ton of barbecue.
You can't get tired of barbecue.
You can't really get tired of it, but I can gain weight like that. You know,
Oh, really?
Like,
You got issues there, huh?
not issues, but like if I eat, you know, like when I eat, I'm gonna sit down and have mac and cheese, brisket,
Right.
you know, whatever's in there. And you know, if I don't go run it off, it'll be sitting there for a little bit.
Pac-12 travel versus Big 12 travel. Deceiving how long Pac-12 travel is.
Yeah, like Seattle to Tucson's a trip. Tempe's a trip. Southern California is not bad. It's 2 hours.
Did you think Big 12 travel was bad?
Yes.
You did?
Awful. I hated it, to be honest. Every road trip, we're getting back at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning.
Why, you got somewhere to be?
No, but my sleep schedule hated me.
Do you not sleep on the plane?
Well, if I sleep on the plane, I'm not sleeping when I get off the plane.
I do. I sleep both.
Well,
Get off the plane and sleep again.
I didn't think it would be as bad as it was, but it was bad. Like especially from here to Texas. Here to going to Texas and then Baylor, like that road trip. Obviously, we got popped both games.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And we were flying back, and I'm just like, God, this is brutal. And then it's a 40-minute drive on the bus.
Oh, Lord.
When you're irritated, you're like, I just want to be in the bed, and I got to sit in the bus like this for 40 minutes. But I'm not complaining though. I mean,
first world problem.
Yeah, I mean, I'm speaking like I'm not blessed and fortunate, but it's always.
Jeez, it was so difficult when the flight attendants would walk down with the chocolate chip cookies and milk, wasn't it?
In the milk, yeah. Getting spoiled.
Oh, and now the chips. Here come the chips. Oh.
Chips, and then there's candy.
Can we get you some candy now?
Yeah.
Get you some anything else?
Just,
That's
give me a couple of cookies and some milk, and then let me just roll back over and go to sleep.
It used to be worse,
Yeah.
You used to have to take the bus to Pittsburgh, fly commercial.
Yeah.
It was a different world.
Yeah, I'm definitely blessed. I didn't have to do that this year.
Yeah. I'm glad you came to the show.
Oh yeah, I love doing this stuff.
Tell your boy Matthews. Is he around? Where's he? Is he in town?
He's in Miami or Florida, somewhere down there.
What's he doing there?
Just taking a little trip.
Is he coming back up there? Look at you guys.
There he is.
That's so neat, man.
Yeah. He
What year was that?
That was senior year. Yeah.
Senior year of high school.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So would you have to put super glue on that ball to hold it?
No. I can do that for sure.
You got that?
Uh-huh.
He's one of our favorites too.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. We've known each other for a while.
He got hot late in the year, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He finished strong.
He finished strong.
Good to see him finish.
I'm really glad he came back too.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. You two guys, made this a memorable season. It was a turnaround season, right? Went from no postseason tournament, and just the season before you got here was just like it was a grind. And we talked about this, that you guys finished with 19 wins. The previous team had 16, but for whatever reason, it felt like you guys won 10 more games. Mm-hmm. Right when you say that,
yes,
I'd say just the energy, and the
energy,
the team bond that we have. Like we're gonna talk forever. This team will always stay in touch. Like I've been on teams where this guy has this agenda, this guy has that agenda. This team guys had agendas. We have goals. Obviously, I had a goal in mind, but Jimmy had a goal, Keedy had a goal, but we always meshed that together. Which if you don't, you're not going to win.
Eric, we talked about a number of times on this program how that there are teams that are liked better by the fans than others, and the attendance this year was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And even though you guys had that rough start in the league and then battled, there was something about this team, whether it was the grit or people like you or Matthews, whatever that, Brad, people warmed to this team. They really embraced this team, don't you think, Brad?
I do, and I think that's kind of what you were saying there. You guys could tell you're having fun, but you fought too.
Yeah.
You matched the personality that fans here like.
There was
right?
never a lack of effort.
You in particular, but I thought the team as a whole fought and went out and competed.
That's exactly what they brought me here to do.
Mm-hmm.
When I came on my visit, they said, we need you to come in and score, but we need you to come in and we need your personality in the locker room, because that's just going to carry over into the practices, into the games. And then, I feel like I'm an ideal Mountaineer. I've always been overlooked. Always had that chip on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm. That's classic Mountaineer right there.
And just gonna play as hard as I can. I'm gonna put my body in terrible positions in the game. Taking charges, diving on loose balls, whatever. And that's West Virginia to a T.
Bingo.
Yeah,
you hit
it is.
To a T.
Bingo. Yep, I agree.
I don't think I could have had a better fit personality wise for my last year.
You're not forgettable. You're memorable. So, like in years to come, people will remember the Erik Stevenson season,
I agree.
right?
Yeah.
And that's something to lay
And that's
on
hard to do for 1 year.
Yes.
That's hard to get to that point in 1 year. I think you did. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
It's very hard because you have to have guys around you that are going to let you be you. You know, and if you're brand new and you come in and rub guys wrong you know, off the jump, it's going to be hard to get that trust back. But that's why I'm going to love this season, this team, this year forever, because they allowed me to be me. And when there was times I needed to take one step back, they would tell me in the right way. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I can't.
It looked like, too, that in games when there was a stoppage of play and maybe something happened, it looked like that Emmett, too, was a guy who was talking to other guys or younger guys.
Yeah, so I'm the fire and he's the ice.
Oh,
That
okay.
makes sense. So,
Good cop, bad cop.
yeah. And, like, I was bad cop in the summer. I was bad cop early on. But then, towards the end of the year, mid-season, I didn't do all that bad cop stuff. You know, I'm trying to uplift my guys. You know, I got on them because I'm showing them the standard that I'm at, that I hold myself at, and I know how hard it is to win. You know what I mean? I had a season where I won 23 games, and that wasn't easy. And I know the standard that it takes to win. You know, and so I have to hold myself to a high standard. And then if my teammates see me doing that, they're just going to raise their level.
Yeah. I was worried about you potentially as the bad cop. In the summer, I went and watched pickup once, and you guys start going, and like you weren't 2 minutes in, and Huggins was just sitting around, you know, happy. He's like looking, staring, watching, whatever, and you yelled over at Huggins, "Get him off the floor!"
Yeah,
because
he's not playing hard.
He's not playing hard. Just get him off the floor. And I went like, wait a second, that's the new guy. Telling the new coach about the guy that was already here for a year, get him off the floor. Because I went like,
I
this
remember
is either going to go good or this is going to go bad. One of the two. Either those guys are going to hate you or you're going to change it, and you changed it.
No, that's why I can't express how much I love this year. You know what I mean? Because I had a goal coming into this year. I'm going to get in that tournament. Like the year I won 23 games, we were going to be in the tournament. Got canceled. Then went to Washington and lost 23 games almost. South Carolina, we were probably 2 or 3 wins away. And it's just the little things. It's just playing hard, and like you're not going to play hard in my pickup. You're not playing. Simple. You're not going to be on my team, and you could be on the other team. You're going to lose. So you're going to play. You're going to sit. You're going to play. And you're going to sit while I play. Simple. I don't know how else to play.
Don't bring any soft boy stuff in here.
Like you play for Bob Huggins, West Virginia basketball. If you don't know the history of that, you shouldn't be here. Like I like in the summer, I'm watching West Virginia highlights. I'm watching Sags go up and block every shot. I'm watching how hard they're playing. I'm like, James could do that. And James could literally be Sags if he wanted to.
And showed you some flashes.
There was a couple games where he was. I'm like, God, he's blocking shots. I can't remember what game it was. It might have been. It was in that 5-game stretch at home. I think. I think it was Iowa. No, it was. What game was that?
I'm trying to remember. He went 10.
Auburn.
He went 10 and 10.
I was going to say Auburn.
It was Auburn. Yeah. They got the ball in the second half. What's his name? Janai Broom.
Yeah.
Was in the paint. Went up for a little left-handed push shot, and he jumps. He not 1-2. He hopped, bounced up, and sent it into the second row. And I'm on the wing, the 9, and I see the ball go back, and so I'm looking. And when I'm looking, all I see is James come like this. I'm like, Jesus. And I just walked to the sideline where the student section is. I was just laughing. I was like, bro, I've never seen that.
Do you think he'll ever understand what he can be?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm hoping so because I'm still trying to get on him, and I'm not even on the team. We're playing pickup, and I'm like, the other team will score, and he'll take the ball out, and he's walking. I said, bro, let's go. Like you got to go. And it's just little things. Getting the ball out fast, sprinting to the rim, setting screens and sprinting to the rim to get a lob. He could be one of the best lob threats in the country.
If his bulb, yeah, you're right. If the bulb turns on for him, he can be super special.
He could be top 2 all-league team. First or second team all league. Make free throws, put your head on the rim, dunk the basketball, block shots, and maybe stretch the floor every now and then.
I hope it happens. Yeah, I hope he gets it.
I would love to see it happen for him.
Hope he gets it.
I can see the potential.
Well, why don't you designate him as your if Ruoff was to you, why don't you become that for him? I know you're not going to be around, but just stay in touch with him.
Yeah.
Just keep.
Yeah. No, for sure.
All right. Did you enjoy this experience?
Yeah. I loved it on here. I love doing this type of stuff, for sure.
Well, one day you'll have your own coach's show.
Mm-hmm. And then I'll be on there.
The Erik Stevenson show.
The Erik Stevenson coaches.
Yeah, right? It's got a nice ring to it.
Sounds
Great.
Okay.
But you'll come back here. We'll do this again.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you start playing overseas or wherever you end up playing during the off season, when you come back, because you'll have a locker here, we're already telling you right now we want to do another one of these, because then we'll ask you all about
professional stuff.
Yeah, professional stuff.
Perfect.
We good?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to release you. We're going to let you go because we still have to go through this other stuff.
All right.
So this is the awkward. Okay, you can leave.
Got to get out.
And Taylor will take you and do stuff for you.
All right.
So we have a little
Awesome.
dap. We're gonna dap out.
Great stuff.
Thanks.
Appreciate you having me on.
This was good. Again, if you're listening before the 7th of April, 5 p.m. at Kegler's, meet and greet with Coach Stevenson. And if after April the 7th, go to ErikStevensonMerch.com. That's an Eric with a K. ErikStevensonMerch.com, and he'll have all the items. Who knows? I mean, it's an opportunity. Give it up.
Thanks, Eric.
All right, man.
Good
Be
luck.
good, brother. There he is.
All right. Thanks, Coach Stevenson.
We'll be in touch. There he is. And isn't that nice? Taylor opens the door for him.
Yeah.
Just gives him the walkout. Isn't that nice? This is kind of a new tradition that we have.
I
It's kind of
think-
like the end of the Johnny Carson show. Ed McMahon used to come out.
That was really fascinating for a variety of reasons. One, just to spend some time with him. And Tony, Brad, you guys ask great questions, but also he's a very candid guy, as you might expect. So you get candid answers. You get good inside info. You get intel, Brad, on what's going on. And also, I think, as he touched on, we've talked about it a lot. What was it about this team that people warmed to? And he really epitomized that Mountaineer spirit of work hard, gritty, always give 100%. I mean, that's the epitome of what Mountaineer fans expect, and that's why I think he's one of the big driving forces behind why this team was successful and why fans like this team.
That's as self-aware as a guy as we've ever had in here.
Well,
For a current player.
McCabe was like that too. Emmett's like that too. But you're right. They're rare.
There were layers to his self-awareness. Not only when he's getting screamed at what the message was, got that. Understanding what everybody's supposed to do, got that. Understanding that we talked about during that stretch where he recognized he needed to dial back a little bit, but could then still move forward and have that great finish. And then how about the work he put in to understand the culture before he got here?
Yes.
That's pretty rare too, guys. You don't get a ton of incoming portal transfer guys that put the work in. He could sit here and go toe to toe with us in WV basketball history, right? He knew his stuff there.
And
that was rare.
And also that not everybody fits with Huggins, right? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
But clearly that was a great fit.
Great fit.
That's what Huggins was looking for, and that's what Stevenson was looking for. They were looking for each other, and it took a while, but they found each other. And you're right. I mean, very, very aware, understands that when Huggins is yelling at him, he's really not yelling at him. He's communicating something else. I mean, you're right. Very self-aware. But also, that's a guy who's mature, who's played a lot of basketball, and for different coaches and had different experiences, so gets it. So understands more than just I'm at a high school and I'm a superstar and I played for one coach. I mean, just having those life experiences that he brought to the table here.
This is how good he was. He's one of those guys that you say, I wish he was here for all 4 years.
Yes.
Or 6.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Or at least one more.
At least one more.
Fortunate to have had him in this season that you had. And we've talked about many times that, again, in history, maybe you won't look back and say, wow, was that season special? No, it was a pretty special year.
Well, put it this way. If he doesn't come, you're not in the tournament.
Correct.
It's not even debatable.
Not even close.
The other part, and I think we kind of hit on this while we were talking to him, he will be a guy, he can come back here 15 years from now, and it's never going to be, why's Stevenson hanging around here? I mean, he played South Carolina. That's a guy that only in 1 year, he's clearly a former WV player.
Guy, yeah. Or who's that guy? We forgot about him.
It would seem to me to be odd if you hear later that he's down at South Carolina, he's working out in South Carolina. Why is he working at South Carolina?
This is
He
what wears.
feels like he's been here a long
Yeah,
time.
absolutely. Yeah.
Lou Wendell Marine Sales, largest pontoon boat dealer in West Virginia, family-owned for 4 decades, recognized as the state's #1 pontoon boat dealership. Check them out by visiting LouWendellMarineSales.com. LouWendellMarineSales.com. They sell family fun. And don't forget to check out Gomart.com/3guys. And they've got a number of things that you can sign up, including their rewards card and a 272-foot beef jerky. That's at Gomart.com/3guys. You guys ready to do a little healing? We need to do some healing. Let's do some healing.
But his dad's 6'11". He's playing in a gym. Coach comes in and goes, "Hey, there's a guy that's 6'11". There's a scholarship. Come over and play.
I love that line. He was a bad kid. You're going with your sister. See ya. All right. Text from our fantastic folks. By the way, if you want to text us, we're available at 304-404-4083. That's 304-404-4083. And this has become a big part of our show. Texter.
Hello!
This got a bit long, but hear me out. Hopefully it's worth it. I was just getting started on today's episode, but I have 3 quick thoughts. You mentioned losing to Stephen F. Austin last week. Nice thing about playing a team like that with a guy like Thomas Walkup nowadays with NIL is after a performance like that, Huggins could shake his hand just a little bit longer at the end of the line and say, hey, might be interested in playing for us and the world champion Mountaineers next year. Well, I don't know if they would do it right in that line, but maybe before the team got on the bus on the way home, might send a message. 2, we were all shocked when Plitzowite left, but I haven't heard anyone throw out the possibility that maybe she was already 1 foot out the door when everything with Shane Lyons was played out the way that it did. I certainly wouldn't give you very much confidence in the institution that you were coaching when the AD they just hired you was just disposed of.
Tony, that I think is a reasonable observation, except that we know that Ren Baker told her repeatedly, was thrilled with the job she was doing, and after the season wanted to talk to her and make sure everything was cool. So, I mean, it was not I don't see where that would have been a primary reason.
Number 3, you're giving that old boy, Charlie in Midlothian, a hard time for filling up his and his wife's gas tanks using their grocery rewards points. But I think the piece of vital information missing here are what are the 2 vehicles, because maybe he's filling up with 2 little Ford Festivas with gas or a Pinto or whatever it was Brad said he used to drive, which together would be less gallons than a single fill-up of your F-150 from Mark LaRose Ford. Although Coach Hunter did make that look pretty small in that picture. It'd be different if they were filling up 2 Burdette RVs, 1 shared reward card. That's true.
Good point. Chevette.
That's it. Curtis in Portland, let me know when I get P1
How'd you
status.
get 4 people in the Chevette?
Well, you can get 4.
You can get 4.
Wouldn't be
Seats full.
fun.
5 was tough. Could get 4.
Texter. Hey,
Back
guys.
in the air before seatbelts mattered, too. So the middle person didn't need the seatbelt there.
Here's Hunter. Hey, guys. I meant to send this a couple of weeks ago, but I forgot. My wife and I were lightly talking about a new car. Here was the conversation. I love the show. So he says, his wife says, nice. Where is Dutchie's Lexus? He says, I'm efforting. She said, what does efforting mean? Just what it says, LOL. She says, you must have mistyped and meant to say putting forth a little effort, also known as playing. No, hon. He was ready. Juju, he was efforting.
See, that's a good example. Proper way to say it, putting forth a little, that's a lot of words. Just say efforting.
Efforting.
Yeah. Texter's got a concern. Here's hoping that Kirchhoff in cans doesn't taste different than in the bottles. That's happened with a lot of beers.
Uh-oh.
I mean, well, let's face the reality of it. It'll be fine. I mean, people drink beer in cans, right?
They do.
We're not trying to develop something new. I mean, we're not putting it in a burlap bag. Beer in cans is a pretty much standard, so it'll be great.
Well, also, I mean, it's just another delivery system. Some might say, Brad, I enjoy a cold draft beer. but I'm not able to have a cold draft beer now, I'll get a 6-pack of Kirchhoff Ale and take it home.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
What'd you call it? Another delivery?
Another delivery method.
Fair. Texter, Wes in Lake Wiley, South Carolina. I think if you could somehow make it to episode 800, please make an exclusive click-only episode. Click all that you want. I love it. Texter, 3 guys, I loved hearing about P1 Jason's recent text. We're both golfers, weightlifters, and we're both new to Tulsa. I'm thrilled to see him recovering so well from his injury. While perhaps it may be tough to effort a full-fledged 3 guys event in Tulsa anytime soon, it'd be an honor to connect with Jason. Let him know I will contribute $1,000 to the Mountaineer Athletic Club in honor of 3 guys if he can get me on a golf club, the Golf Club of Oklahoma. I've yet to meet a member and have been wanting to play there. If Jason is interested, he and I could brainstorm on how to start a fundraising effort for the MAC here in Oklahoma. And someday, if you guys take your show on the road, we could host you for a great event in the Sooner State for displaced Mountaineer fans, signed by Matt in Tulsa.
Just bring 3 guys, just bringing people together.
Let it be known I have shared Matt in Tulsa's information with P1 Jason, and I would imagine in the not-too-distant future they will play a round of golf at that exclusive club, and they'll send us a picture, and we'll put that on the show.
Well done.
We're just trying to bring people together. I mean, that's all we're trying to do. I mean, we're
Community.
a community.
Yeah.
Hoppy, to your point, last episode about the WVA, which irks you.
Mm-hmm.
He says, WVA is Central Time, do the math. In other words, what he's saying is it's the same issue. Like Central Time we go crazy about, WVA, it's another major issue that people struggle with. Texter writes, scopes, spreads, and what was the third guy's name again? My second text ever. First was when I was stationed as a Marine in Okinawa, Japan, 2010 through 13, with a 13-hour time difference. If anyone was asking, my text question was to Dana, and I thought it was, well, pretty good. After I got over the nostalgia of hearing Tony read my question, Dana gave me a less than impressive answer, similar to a fake San Marzano tomato, a beer establishment saying, we're all out of Kirchhoff Ale, or the coffee clutch guy responding to, welcome to Subway, we can make that for you today. I retired as a sergeant major in 2019, moved back to my home in Pocahontas County. Keep efforting the outstanding work you all do between 3 guys and Sportsline. I am a quiet listener that can't wait until the next show gets dropped for our consumption. My wife does not think you guys are idiots, but she just chuckles when I share some sort of detail about West Virginia football or basketball. Tell that third guy that we are still waiting on the internet to get better in our neck of the woods, and yes, I own 56 acres of the mountains down here, the real Matt Moore in Dunmore, West Virginia.
That's nice. 56 acres in Pocahontas County?
Yeah. There's a radio station in Dunmore, if I'm not mistaken. There's kind of a
yes, Let me
commercial public DMV.
Gibbs Kinderman
DMV
works there. Works there.
Okay. Texter, put that picture up, Taylor. Look at this hop. Hoppy Easter. See what they did? Instead of happy, they did hoppy.
Nice.
That's from the Belmont Savings Bank branch in St. Clairsville, Ohio.
Thank you.
From John. Thank you very much, sir. We do certainly appreciate that. So there you have it. Here's how things are going to get crazy again. You know, we talk about the turbulence that exists right now in college sports. Earlier this week, a lawsuit filed, a new multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the NCAA. This is retroactive to the Sean Alston case that the Supreme Court made its ruling on. And basically what they want to do is get back wages for college athletes. It has the potential to be hundreds of $1 million and maybe close to $1 billion. So super interesting to see how these things play out, because the NCAA has been running like a scared dog after the Supreme Court ruling. I mean, these are the kind of things that eventually one day could just change sport in college as we know it.
Hey, Tony, Brad, excuse me. Also, we need to mention the passing of Dave Van Hallinger. And Dave Van Hallinger has passed away. He's living in suburban Dallas, I believe. He was 69 years old. And Van Hallinger, Brad, was late 70s. He was mid to late 70s. He was on the 75 Peach Bowl team. 75 Peach Bowl team, which he was captain of that team. And played for Bobby Bowden and then Frank Signetti. Mm-hmm. And then Bowden, and then after he graduated, he stayed on as the strength coach at WVU. And then when Bowden went to Florida State, he went to Florida State as a strength coach for a period of time. But Dave Van Hallinger passed away too young, obviously. He was only 69 years old, but was a rock-solid Mountaineer in the mid to late 70s.
First ever strength coach at West Virginia University. He was also strength coach at Georgia.
Oh, so that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So he had, people just absolutely loved him. So condolences to his family. All right. Music's on. We'll be back again next week. Hope you enjoyed. That's one of my faves. I love all the summer series stuff. Harler was really good last week. Stevenson was really good. And
we could have gone a couple more hours with Erik.
We'll have him back. Just sit around.
You got to get Emmett in here.
I'm back.
He said he's down there in Miami. I don't know what he's doing down there in Miami. He's running around.
He didn't say he wasn't coming back. He said I think he was just down there for a vacation.
Oh, so he didn't file for residency.
I didn't take it that way.
He didn't enroll at FLA, did he?
I don't think.
Hey,
University of Miami.
I understand. I understand. Coach McCabe is rolling around the state as well.
Heard that.
And so if I might be able to get him.
I'd like to hear from him.
I'd like to get.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'd like to get little buddy in and chat with him.
Agree.
He's got a girlfriend up there in the Northern Panhandle. Keeps him here in West Virginia, right? So I'll effort
that.
I'll effort that one to see if we can get that one going. All right. Once again, 304-404-4083 is our text line. We're open to you. We'll be back. Thanks so much for listening. Don't if you're still listening, please, folks. Pass the word about Three Guys Before the Game. Believe it or not, there might be a person or two that still has not heard about the program, and we'd love to have them join the family. Currently taking memberships, kind of like those fraternities out there when they have rush. Three Guys Before the Game, currently in rush mode. We're bringing in applicants for new membership.
And no membership fee.
No membership fee. And we won't beat your ass with a paddle either. So you got that going for you. Three Guys Before the Game, brought to us by the Burdett Camping Center.
There's some verbal hazing that goes along with it.
Right? Yeah, there would be verbal hazing. Other than that, it's fair, but no, we would make you kind of like what we've been done with Taylor since Taylor joined us.
Oh my gosh, he's been going on an initiation for a long time.
However, would you not agree? Well deserved.
Well, to a point.
Like what in Animal House? Who was the dude? What was the
Mr.
one?
Blutarski?
Yeah. Well, no, that was
0.0.
Who was the one guy? Flounder. So Taylor might get some Flounder-like abuse, but deserves it.
He was a legacy.
Three Guys brought to us by the Burdett Camping Center, the only warranty forever RV dealer in West Virginia. Visit BurdettCamping.com. Three Guys also brought to us by Go-Mart. We love Reese's. Who doesn't? Go to Go-Mart and learn more how you can save and win $500 Go-Mart gift card plus a bunch of stuff. Just go to gomart.com/3guys. Taylor remember he wore a tuxedo for the first Three Guys Live event?
Yeah.
Talked to him the other day. He would be we're not going to do it now since I spilled it. He was going to be willing to wear a gorilla suit.
Excuse me?
Like a full gorilla suit. Like never say like who it is, just have him walk during the event in a gorilla suit. Thought it'd be kind of neat. Because gorilla suits make people like.
You can wear a tux again?
We're efforting on that.
Top hat?
Walking stick.
It looked like Mr. Peanut.
5 vests. Got a fob on.
Tails.
Monocle.
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 With an ascot. I find looking Phil's got all that stuff done.
Does he have monocles?
I think Phil does. I think it's right next to the collar stays. I think he's got collar stays and monocles. Jeweled monocle.
Stupid guess.
And I think he'll also have a ferret on his shoulder.
You look like
Look, it's Taylor. He's got
Like,
a top hat, a walking stick, a ferret on his shoulder, an ascot, and a monocle.
you look like Mr. Peanut or Colonel Clink.
Good Colonel Clink reference. Shots! Three Guys brought to us by Comax Business Systems,
Not on
keeping
the
West
bingo
Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. I see nothing. And by Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family funds. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. Lepuyo used to come at him with that chocolate. Maybe for a little bit of chocolate? Shots!
End
Yes,
the
sir.
show. Would you end the show?
Commandant Clink. See ya.